Hi. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Well, what did you think of the unicorns this week? There were quite a lot of selection of really pretty cards, I thought. The Zealanders. There's so many people that make up those that live in New Zealand. The Maori is one of the most prominent tribes, of course, but there's a whole bunch of different little tribes that are there. Hug Annie Bear. Oh, you've seen the central tree. I'm not sure. I kind of think because Annie Bear is asking this one, I have stood in the earth where the central tree is in meditation. And when you feel into that, I'm thinking that echoes back to like Lemuria 2, where that was the name of Tara. And so Lemuria at the time was centered in things like the Avalon, Merlin, um, all of the fairy folklore that you would have from the Celts in Ireland, Cornwall, early England, and there is that essence of also the Vikings that is in that. So that I think is an echo of that where that central tree is. So I think that is something that is a part of it as well. They're just these echoes of things whenever we go looking through history and you begin to feel into things and there's something that just resonates with you. And that usually I find when you start looking into it, and it's all around the globe. It literally is all realms that we've been in past lives, and it's like, yeah, I remember. Yeah, Wayuwitapu. I remember you. I remember this. I remember. So, Anybear, I'm not sure what happened to Lemuria 1. I know that Tara is Lemuria 2, but I don't remember. Lemuria 1 is potentially the one that was in Egypt, but I can't swear to that one. And yep, is it our plan to anchor and weave? Yes, you have found the timeline. We are all under the sea like the yellow submarine. Oh, my kitty keys are here. Did some. Hi, did some. Scroll back down through here. Oh, beautiful. Fedor. Oh, gorgeous. Ah, that's wonderful. Yay, yay. How cool. Ah, how beautiful. Yay. Ah, that's gorgeous. You get messages from the trees too. That's one of the that's absolutely one of the connections that we have down here. Okay. Speaking of connections, I'm going to go ahead and do another oh golly. Speaking of connections, everybody, let's hope, cross our fingers because I've got an airplane flying overhead. Please let my internet hold. Please, please, please. That would be nice. Yes, maybe, maybe. Okay. We're going to hope that it holds up. Great. Tie, mori, ara, mahaka watahi, it ingawa, to iri te ootupana. Wayu tapuk. It ingawa, tifinui, trarani tao, wayu tapuk. It ingawa, to fire tama tua te tama, wayu tapuk. Tie, mori, ara. Yay. Oh, you're going to call him Barkley? That's adorable. Fits too, since he lives in the bark of the tree. I'm feeling my inner dragon sometimes and it whips up my spine. Judy thinks it's a dolphin. I think it's both. No idea what to do or say. Any bear, what you can do is take a deep breath in through your nose and then let it all the way out. And then I usually close my eyes so that I can feel better into my body whenever I do that. But when you do that, sometimes your body will begin to rock and sway, or it will do like a twisting motion to help ground and move out the energies. And you can allow your spine to just coach you through what you need to do. Yeah, cool. I got my back. Well, same thing. Sure. Same thing with the dolphins. Yay, singing along. One of the things that I came across over the weekend that is beneficial and is also speaking to Tara, which was Lemuria 2. I don't know why, but it seems to be going a little bit back and a little bit out and a little bit fae and a little bit elementals, which was why I reached for the unicorns. They really, really wanted to come out today to play. And so when I was listening to this gal, she studies Irish. It's I'm gonna butcher this. I just know it. Gaelic. It's either Gaelic or Gaelic. Forgive me, any Irish speakers or Scottish speakers. But what she was doing was, in that video, she was expressing that she had looked into a man's dictionary that was created of Gaelic words in, it would have been the early 19 teens, so like 1910, 1912, 1913 sort of a thing. And so when he was presenting his verbs, they were in first person. And so they were, as most of you would know, when we say, I am, fill in the blank, you need to pay attention to what you're doing with this, because you are imprinting on yourself and your world around you. Hi, Valerie. But you're imprinting on the world and yourself around you, whatever that statement is. So what she was doing, I'll give you 3 different words that I came across. And the first one is called Solsha. Solsha. And what that means is I shine. And just by saying that, I shine. Solsha. Sometimes being able to hear things in a different language is just very much like the Lemurian language. And of course, Tara too. Lemuria too, would be those seed sounds that you're picking up. So you had Solsha for I shine. Fuenchim is I spring forth. I spring forth to shine like the day. Which is neat. That was Fuenchim. And the last one that I'm going to share, because she's also a musician, is Kilwallam. And what that means is I chant, I make music. And it's more than just a little bit more than that. It is the idea of I braid things together as I create. And especially with music, you will be weaving in different lines, the lyrics, of course, the tones, everything. And so there is a weaving of magic with that one. So that was Kilwallam for that one. And so I just wanted to share those with everybody. Yeah, this little light of mine had the obsession with listening to the Celtic. Beautiful. Yeah, that's just it. Brave was another one where they really used the Celt music, since it was based on Scotland. But, hi, Teresa Ford. Hi, honey, I'm home. Hi, Paul. going for pizza tonight. Everybody's talking about what they're going to have today. That's actually a really good thing. This time of year, especially in a lot of folklores and especially in a lot of different traditions, as the northern hemisphere comes forward and into our winter time. Um, we've just completed, if you do follow the Celtic New Year, we've just completed the Celtic New Year with Halloween, and we've moved into Samhain, which is their new year. So it's like the seed is sown and the baby's in the belly. It's going to take time for it to grow. And so there's a lot of gathering in, and throw mushrooms in your stew pot if you are in the northern climates, because that does help with lack of vitamin D. As the sunshine goes away, of course, we tend to become slightly vitamin D deficient. And mushrooms are very high naturally in vitamin D, D3, which is great. But you'll see a lot of people will begin gathering. Yeah, like Annie Bear saying, I made the white bean soup with lots of mushrooms. Yum, 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 yum. And people gather together. It's a time when most of the harvest is done. You've got, of course, the animal tendings, but it's a time of repair, renewal, and gathering for the storytelling. And this is where things will be passed down from one generation to another generation, which is great. Kind of loops everybody in, draws them together. Oh, how pretty. Yeah, music is amazing. It can really move you and evoke emotions. And a lot of it, I don't know if you've ever seen the kymatics. I'll put the word in here for everybody so you can see it. But they found that different notes make different patterns. What they'll do is they'll take a tray, and then they will spread sand across it. And then they will play a tone, and it will show a pattern. Like say that if it's playing an A, it will show a distinctive pattern. And then if they change it to, say, a C note, it will change the pattern. A lot of our sacred geometries will show up in these notes. So you can use that to see the different patterns that are being created on in the sand or in the salt or whatever medium that they're using. There's a gal, and she's named Chakra Tones, and she will. Oh, thank you, Paul. But she will show. She's got a water that she's using with the kymatics, and so it is live streaming. I mean, she's not live streaming. She's video. It's a video capture, but you get to see the different patterns that show up in the center of it, and it will show the different patterns that you're hearing, which is really cool. Hey Karen, how you doing? I'm Nikola Tesla. I have a long ways to go before I'm anywhere like Nikola Tesla. He said the most fascinating thing, though. He said that numbers are living, breathing entities. And I was always intrigued by that, because numerology means so much to us. And as like with Friday's show, you got to see what I was seeing, which is I'm in Lemuria 5, which means that I am in Kahuku, which is the 5th month of the year. So when everybody rushes forward and we're all doing, the 1111 portals and things like this, then I'm sitting here going, yeah, I hear you. And at the same time, I'm in what would be considered Maytime in the Lemuria calendar 2025. So and I get that too, because everybody's like, ooh, but this and that, it's going to be daunting, and this and that's going to happen in 2025. And it's like, oh yeah, I keep forgetting. I've been in 2025 for a while. How cool. Huh, Cash Peters. Sounds familiar. Did a show where he experienced transition. Nicholas was a bit of a dry soul. He was a very unusual individual. If I remember right, he was born very high up in the mountains. And so he had a lot of experiences with electricity, even at a very young age. And so it was no wonder that whenever he came forth and he was wanting to share this idea and have the free energy to tap in, he thought it would be pretty natural, just like natural is breathing, because, the energy to him, the electricity was everywhere. No sense of humor. I would say, Karen, simply because of what happened in his lifespan, kind of like what's happening right now. As I was saying, his ideal, he was he was he was slightly ahead of his time, and it's a real shame that he wasn't supported. That happened, because we could have had some version of free energy, and he also invented the wireless. So like the Wi-Fi signals, he had that concept. So we could have been there a lot faster, except for the fact that the 2D entities who had already created systems in place to make people pay for things like electricity and for our vehicles and things, they did not want to give up that money. They did not want to give up their control. So unfortunately, by the time that he had gone forward in life, the electric companies were really all over him. They were supporting him. Wardenclyffe in New Jersey, I think it was built, and they were all gung ho. And then all of a sudden, he made the mistake of saying that he basically wanted it to be free for everybody. And that's when your oil backers all went, what are you talking about? We have paid for this. We have backed you. We have built this thing. Yep. They didn't just steal his ideas. They broke him. They shut him down, which was really sad. There was a lot of ideas that he had. Well, I have to say the horses were happy. It took a little while for us to transition from the horses as our main transportation over to the gas car. Although Americans just really embraced it, but the horses were not fond of him with his electricity ideas. It's too bad people aren't forced to carry all of their money, so the uber rich would understand. Aw, that is pretty funny. Yeah, that's just it. But that was a different time era. And he was ahead of his time because if I remember right, he was born in February, which would be Tirani, which is the sign of the hummingbird. And so he was getting messages from sacred, from on high, from our highest good. But he would also be what's called Aquarian, if I remember correctly. And one of the things with the Aquarians is that they're very much attached to electricity, but they're quirky. They are in the future. They're very Star Trekky. He might have been a Maita. Actually, hang on a second. Let's just see here right quick. Nikola Tesla. What is your birthday? This way we'll find out what his birthday is for sure. 1900s for sure. Oh my goodness. He was born in 1856. And blow me down, he was actually a July 10th baby. So he's a caca. Well, and I have to say, that doesn't surprise me too much. I'm wondering, not according to what I just looked up. According to what I just looked up, it said July 10th in the 1800s, 1856. But my guess would be if we got to looking at his chart, his actual birth chart in the, trying to remember, Western astrology, I'm sure that he would have had either, no, actually, well, no, you're right. He would have been a Cancer. In the Western astrology, he would have been a Cancer. But my guess would be that he would have had a lot of influence with Aquarius. Probably, like you're saying, Aquarius aspects. Probably, I would guess midheaven would be Aquarius. Um, or potentially rising sign could have been Aquarius. But what I was going to say to Kaka is some of the visions that he had was the ability, as I was saying with our Wi-Fi, to speak to each other. He really wanted people to have wireless communication. He wanted to be able to just speak into a box and have other people hear it, and to be connected that way. And that speaks very much to the brother and sister conversations constantly of the Kaka, which is the sign of the talking parrot. So there again, it dovetails beautifully. Oh, cool. Oh, for anybody not in the know, Illumination Portal said she's going to pull his chart. So if you would like, tomorrow I'm going to be on with Illumination Portal at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so let's go ahead and chat about Nikola Tesla. That ought to be fun. I mean, yeah, let's go for the visionary in the future. Yeah, because with him being a Cancer, I'm curious to see what the other. There's got to be Aquarius. I'm thinking either midheaven or rising, or potentially could be emotional. So the moon could have been his moon sign as well, and that's just it. As we go forward, with the Lemurian, it's the same thing with our astrology. The different signs and the different positions of the different planets that he has in his chart will show up the same way. You're going to get different flavors for your moon sign. Like, for example, my moon sign is Kahuku. So when I speak of Kahuku, I know quite well what I'm talking about when it comes to the transition. And Kahuku is what would be, again, the Scorpio season. And also just a touch bit on the end of it would be the Sagittarius. I feel like we'll be telepathic again soon. I know it. It's going to be really intriguing as we go forward with the telepathy. Is he on? He's Venusian. From what I remember, he is Venusian with Tesla, and I don't think he's on planet right now. I think he's still over on Venus, or potentially working with the High Command. Yep, there's always tomorrow, and the sun will shine. Or in my case, my clouds will be here. I know a lot of people are like, I want the sun. It's like, I want my clouds. Good. I am so glad, Annie Bear. Yes, that was my message for people today is if you can, just be really gentle with yourselves. We're at the end of a feeding cycle for the 2Ds, and so they're going to try to drag it out for as much as they can, but there's no need. We have loads of other things to look at. Oh, wow. Teresa Ford. Rainy, windy, loved it. I'll bet you did. How warm is it down there? Because you're still in Florida, right? Yeah. Ooh, nice. Yeah. Little gentle rain and a little Pink Floyd. That'd be fun. Ugh, 83. Oh, you lost me. I'm a 50s degree kind of gal. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. I want my coat. I want my clouds. I want my rain. Yep. Yeah. Well, and that's just it. The 2Ds are definitely at the end of a feeding cycle. And so you can sometimes see it that they will try to drag it out a bit more. And if that happens, just laugh at it and go paint a picture or take a walk, or join us tomorrow. We're going to be diving into Nikola Tesla, which should be a lot of fun. Yeah, go enjoy some candy and paint, and yeah, absolutely. Because the more that we can ignore it and be up in our energy, they can't feed on that. They don't feed on the happy, so it weans them. Yeah, it'll wean them off again. And they can go eat off of each other. There's plenty of that. Oh, I hear ya. I hear ya, Paul. Ours is the same way. We really desperately, desperately need a lot more rain. We've just started on some of our rains and they keep hyperboling it. Oh, we've got this um, Pineapple Express coming, and I wish, because we could desperately use it. There's something that we have offshore that keeps pushing our storms much further to the north. It's some sort of a high pressure system keeps being created out there, and it creates a very strange wind ridge. So I keep working on it because it's not supposed to be there, whatever it is. 2D's dead. I don't think so. They're going to be a lot less. They need to be a smaller population than what they have been in the past. We had another quake, but I don't think that they'll be completely gone. Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Andy Bear. Thanks for stopping by. So, hypnicity. Where was the quake? I know they said that we had one that was offshore from Bandon about a week ago, and that was a 6. And at first, everybody was like, "Oh, I don't know about that," but we usually get one that's a little more potent each year. As long as they keep doing the 3s and the 4s and a lot of them, I'll be happy. Yep. Okay. Hypnicity saying it was the 6. Yeah, that was the one that happened off of Bandon, and it's quite a distance out. And so that was actually, I didn't mind that one. I took a glance over it, and that's fine. We're still in the safe zone with that one. And there wasn't any tsunami or anything that came up from that. Our seas are really high right now, but we're coming up to our king tides here on the Oregon coast. And so we've got naturally much taller waves in the wintertime. Our winds are crazy, changing timelines. Yeah, there's been a lot of very strong wind, although oddly enough, we're not getting near the quantity of wind that we usually do too. Like I said, it's been a very unusual wind pattern and weather pattern that we have here on the Oregon coast. Yeah, like Valerie's saying, it's the weather is just being very strange this year. Some of it is, of course, 2D manipulation. Some of it, I'm sure, is for the higher timelines. That was one that we talked about last week too, that I felt was really helpful, but I'm curious to see if anybody else had any feedback from it. Last week, we did a ton of energy work. I went through and I time stamped it from last week's Lemurian and Energy live chat. One of the things that I brought forward that was new is alchemy of the 1st through the 5th dimensions. And I was just curious how people, if you noticed any changes in your week, if maybe things got lighter. I know for myself, I really jumped into doing a lot of them last week simply because I woke up kicking my butt, and I woke up with like the worst neck ache last week and headache and all kinds of things from it. And it was demon fighting and all kinds of things. I kicked it, huh? Cool. I threw everything at it, although I still had a few more techniques I could have done. But I was really pleased whenever I did the alchemizations. And great. That's wonderful. There's perfect. That's what I was aiming for. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Great. So I've got 12 people in here. Would anybody mind if I did another alchemization of those again? Everybody's like, I don't know. I'm not going to be doing anywhere near the amount of quantity that we did last week. I don't think what we needed. Great. Okay. You'd like to do this. Great. Okay. Well, I'll start off with another harmonization because I've got people that have been hopping in here. And I wanted to say too, thank you. Absolutely thank you to everybody that has been coming in and chatting with me and hanging out with me. And thank you to the people that come back for the replays. And thank you so, so much for those that are here. I can feel you. And I know even on the replays that the energy is built into this. And I really appreciate you being here for it. Tell us how to alchemize our fat butt. Honey, if I did that, I'd be skinny already. If I find out, I will tell you. but not the butts. But we will right quick do a harmonization, and then what I'm going to do is the alchemy. So, Tihe hori hora mahakawatahi iti ingawa to iri te aatawanga waiwatapu iti ingawa te finui trani tau waiwatapu iti ingawa te whaia tama tua te tama waiwatapu tihe hori hora. Okay, for the alchemy part, what we're going to do is we're just going to look up with our eyes right quick, and then just gently close your eyes down. Close your eyelids down, but keep your eyes up behind them. So they're kind of looking at your third eye in between your eyebrows, the brow chakra, which incidentally is the focus. That is our chakra for this month, is the brow chakra, the knowing chakra. Color would be indigo. And in Lemuria, that chakra is Tinaro. Okay. So what I need you to do is ground into Mother Earth. Imagine your feet sinking into Mother Earth, or you're hugging a tree, or you're easing back into your favorite pool at the base of a waterfall, walking along a beach. You could be enjoying a mountain trail. However you get grounded with Mother Earth. Give me just a second here. I need to set up the energy. Great. Here we go. Alchemy of the first dimension. Alchemy of the second dimension. Alchemy of the third dimension. Alchemy of the fourth dimension. Alchemy of the fifth dimension. Okay, ground into Mother Earth when you're ready. If you feel light-headed or dizzy from this, just keep imagining Mother Earth. Or if you can, go ahead and put your hand into some earth or under some running water to help ground off some of the energies. And there we go. Welcome back. Paul says we had a small earthquake. Yikes, yikes, yikes. You know, some areas around the world, it's a little more troublesome in some areas than it is in others because of the way that the plates are on the earth. Like where we are over here on the Pacific coast, it's like a ring of fire. And so we have a large ring between us and several other countries and continents. And so for ours, as long as we've got small earthquakes going, it's not that big a deal. And others, it can be kind of jammed together. Yeah, a little lightheaded. I am too. I especially got it around the nose, the third eye, the eyes itself. So if you can, just keep imagining grounding into Mother Earth. You can get yourself a drink of water if you need. Ooh, that's fun. That's fun. The Boo Mudra. Particularly helpful with grounding. Yeah, that's the other one that you can do too. Is just take your hands and point the fingertips down towards Mother Earth. And you can also point your toes down towards Mother Earth. Beautiful. As you were working the fourth dimension, I started to feel the pain ease around my third eye. Did some? That's polarity is held in the fourth dimension. And that's part of why I wanted to repeat the alchemization this week. Now, this is something that I'm going to try to timestamp it for us. So as we go forward this week, if the 2D entity feed fest that's happening today begins to do anxiety on your body, or you begin to feel fearful or anxious or even irritated, you can certainly come back and rerun the alchemization on this, because that energy is actually bringing your energy field up and out. It will be continuing to work going forward. That is so, so cool. Yeah, I could feel it too. Yeah, that is really cool. Could feel it stretching. Same, I could feel the elevation from it. And I wanted to go, as I said, with the alchemization of the fifth. I wanted to do that because, you know, we're moving from a 3D to a 5D entity. When we do that, the highest that a 2D entity can go is 4D. They can't go 5D. That's why they're so angry at us. But at the same time, as we go into 5D, I just wanted to move up and beyond that, because there are other dimensions. Like for example, I'm pretty sure my friends that come to visit with me, they are, I think they're 10D. And I've been really, really high up before. But it's a matter of, I didn't want us to just stop with the 5D. I want to know that there are stair steps behind that as well. Wow, that's really cool. Last week was huge. Tuesday was mega. I did a mega lot of energy work on that. There was a lot of Lemurian technology. There was the alchemization thing that happened. Yeah, you're so welcome. Lightning might be the word for the day in many ways, since we're talking about Nikola Tesla. But I also did the meridian clearing last week too. So began to pop, and that is wonderful. What a great release. Yay. Yeah, I agree with Judy. Let's fly. Woohoo. You guys had the freedom card this week. That has wings. Big, big wings. Kiki Law. Hi. Welcome aboard. Well, we just did a bunch of energy work, so I'm a little dizzy. But what this is discussions of the Lemurian Light Codes and Lemurian Astrology. And I also do some energy work myself with, it's Shiatsu based, some meridian based as well. But welcome aboard. Kiki, if you tell me what your birth month and day are, I can tell you what your Lemurian birth sign will be. And I will say this again, because I've been, sometimes people are confused with it. Um, we are on the 5th iteration of Lemuria. This is Lemuria 5. And so the planet is called Matea, which is the planet of light. Great. Kiki, January 20th, you are what's called a Hia. So let me type this for you. And what a Hia is a hair. And the essence of the hair is, oops, sorry, that's all shouty letters. Well, it's just going to go through. But what the hair it represents that month, it represents determination. Actually, it more represents endurance. The hair is connected to the continents. It's going to be like for Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and it is a very strong benevolent being that holds a lot on its shoulders. Before this one, I did an oracle card read, so that I pulled cards for everybody. So yeah, anybody that's born January 1st through the 28th, yours is the sign of Hia, the hair. And I always say endearing and enduring because I love our hairs. But mostly this live chat is just simply open to if you have questions about the Lemurian astrology or the Lemurian Birthsigns. And I do energy balancing, like I said. That's more Shiatsu based, so meridian based. But yeah, if you have any questions, the information that I learned from, oh, bye, Paul. Have a great work week. But the information that I learned comes from a man named Tuna Flash, and he learned in the mystery schools. He was taught from age 7 in New Zealand in the mystery schools. So that's where this training comes from. Ciao, Paul. Sounds like you're going to cook up a pizza. Pepperoni with that. Extra mayo. Do the mushrooms. Oh, wonderful. Mm-hmm. Astrology helped get me out of a depression and is keeping me straight this election. That's great. Yeah, if I don't know if Valerie with Illumination Portal is still here, but Valerie does the regular Western astrology. And so the Lemurian astrology, sorry, but the Lemurian astrology is, it's based on the light, the first light touching down on the tip of New Zealand. Oh, did she pull the freedom card? I thought the freedom card was for the kitties this week. I'm trying to see. Hang on a second. We'll see if we can find it. So we had, that was Kitty. Marita. Okay. No, Kahuku. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. So this was your card for the week. You got adventure, Kiki. This was for anybody that was born January 1st through the 28th. You had adventure. So it says, dare to do things differently, manifest your travel dreams, move to a new location. And as I said on my oracle card read, I know sometimes Hias are not as happy about the idea of traveling. And so that could be just as simple as finding a new spot for drinking your coffee and reading your book. Yeah, remaining free. We step into freedom, that's for sure. We remember that we're free. Yeah, we're not going back. But with the Lemurian astrology, I'm just basically bringing forward, because we are, it's the collapsing of the old. And so that was Capricorn system. And we're stepping more into the new. And that is into the freedom. and the electricity and the plasma, and it's going to be exciting as we step forward and into it. We've seen glimpses of it, I think, as we go forward. I mean, to me, I would just love it if we could figure out something to do with the the plasma as an energy source, as some sort of a propulsion system. But I also I've always had the fascination with being able to walk through a doorway and into a different location. As daunting as the portals are, there's somebody in my town, because, like as I've said, I've got a light in the sky that I see. They've been here for quite some time, and oh wow, did some? That's wonderful. Run with it. That's great. But the little twinkly light that I see, my UFO in the sky. There was a gal that was in town, and I didn't get to see it, but she did. She was down at the beach, and she said she saw a UFO, one of the twinkly lights, and what happened was it flew over the top of the surfers in the waves. She said that there was a portal that opened just big enough for the UFO to pass right through it, and then it closed. Broad daylight. She said it was about 7 or 8 in the morning, no later than 8 a.m. And she said she saw it in the sky, just above the heads for the surfers. I would love that, and I really like the idea of the door technology to be able. I mean, can you imagine how fun it would be to go through a door and be arriving in Paris, or for breakfast, or be able to step out and um, visit in Australia, maybe go see Uluru, or um, I don't know, go see the Great Wall of China, or it's just my main thing is the idea of getting someplace faster, I guess, is kind of neat. Purple crystalline soon, or blue, or white, or rainbows, or dazzling. Well, and with the Capricorn systems too, of course, as we begin to ease into wanting to do more freedom and to feel into how having our senses heightened will be, because the photons that are coming in, they're definitely upgrading. They're definitely upgrading all of us here on the planet. It'll be interesting to see. And the Capricorn systems for our 26,000 years of darkness served us well. It got us through our survival time. But as we step into the golden era, it's going to be fun to see what's going to happen. And I've had a lot of people try to ask me, what do you think it's going to look like? I have no idea. It would be the same thing as asking somebody that just came out of the Black Plague, what do you think about the Renaissance and the new painting techniques and all of the technologies and the innovations that came up from Da Vinci and some of the other inventors. It's pretty crazy. I'm sure that there are people probably never in a million years would have come up with some of the stuff that they were coming up with. And the amazing thing is, a lot of Leonardo da Vinci's inventions were left over from the ancient Greeks. He was rediscovering some of the ancient Greek technology. So, I cannot pronounce this word correctly. Gobli Techie? Go back to Techie. Something like this. But the archaeologists had been doing research on it, and they had discovered that however old that they thought it was, the complex was actually much larger. And they were having to push back. Gobekli Tepe. There we go. She got it. I just can't say it very well. But the way that thing was built, oh my word! I mean, the stones were cut precise, precision, and of course placed in place. There's just the precision that it was built with is amazing, and the age that they have done with that to go backward is just incredible. And as they said, now I don't think we even have the machinery right now to be able to do something like that. It's very similar to what happened with the pyramids too. They were talking about how they were assembled, and there was a man, Coral Cable was, I believe, the town that he built that in, and he discovered how the ancient Egyptians had built the pyramids. And the only clue that we had was one photo of a funny looking box set up on a tripod. And, but there's it's something to do with you would say magnetic resonance, except a rock or coral doesn't have magnets really to it. So, maybe Illumination's portal saying, the plasma perhaps is the one that was lifting it in place. But I've seen and I've heard glimpses also of the ancient monks, and they would make a clamor. It was not music as we know it. It wasn't even harmonic as we know it, but they would make a god-awful racket, as they say, and it would lift these massive boulders up and into place, which is very similar to what the man did in Florida to build his coral castle. Water purification would be nice. Structured water is fun. Yeah, plasma is already here. We actually have plasma for it in our bodies. And that's why whenever you're around something that's larger, like a horse or a whale or an elephant, the energy, the magnetic resonance that's around them, it's quite a big field. Their energy field is quite large. Yeah, absolutely. If you can't go out into the woods and scream to release that off, you can scream into a pillow. If you're going to do a scream, make sure you take a deep breath. And then as you're yelling, push with your tummy muscles so that you're supporting your lungs from the base of your spine all the way up. That way it doesn't hurt your throat. You're not going to get a decent yell from your throat, because what's happened is your emotions that have made you angry primarily going to be your liver. But if you push from your tummy, it helps to support the voice as you go up and out of that. And yeah, you do a bit of that, and it works. Warn the people in your lives around you that you're going to do that. Otherwise, you're going to have to clean up spots in the living room. Hmm. I used to do it a lot whenever I was a kid and I was frustrated at school. I just, because we lived out in the country, so it didn't matter. And I'd come home and just yell and yell and yell. And once I was done yelling, I felt pretty good. It definitely balances your energy. But as I said, make sure that you support it, because you don't want to harm your throat. That's another one of our chakra systems. Gotta love the soundproofing of a car. One of the best, they could have used that for a commercial. One of the best advertisements I'd seen for soundproofing on a vehicle was I'd gotten out next to an SUV in a grocery store parking lot, and there was an itty bitty chihuahua that was doing the chihuahua thing and was jumping up and down, of course, barking its head off, and I couldn't I couldn't hear a single bark. I was like, oh, that would make such a great car commercial. Look, we have soundproofing. To put everybody to sleeping in. I do this a lot. Hi, Utica. How you doing, honey? How is your world, little dragon? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Sing loudly. It's actually a good way to get a scream out, anyways. And cleaning is good too. Like the Subaru dogs, huh? Looking at the hot dog stand and then drive on. I haven't seen that one. Sounds cute though. Subaru. Subaru is a number named for the Pleiades. Oh, it's nice to see you again, Utica. You still didn't get the live notification. I don't know what it is about YouTube's technology. It does this to everybody. Do make sure, I haven't seen it in a little while, but do make sure that you're subscribed. Aw, that's okay. That's okay. You'll get there. Try to remember as your words come out, since you are a kaka, pay attention not only to what you're saying, but also what they're saying. And some of it is, as I said, the turbulence. Son just bought a Subaru. Isn't that wild? I like Subarus. They're good little cars. Oh, okay. Now that's interesting. See, technology is pretty wild. It says if I'm not actively using my phone, then I won't get the notification. But if I'm on the computer, I'll get it right away. So it's got to be something to do with the technology that they're using, because I do know that um, the framework that they use inside a phone is quite different to that of a computer. And yeah, if it's not, if it's sitting there locked, my guess is that it's going to not come through. Oh, that's fun. Driving along in my gnome-mobile. Where are my elves? I know, right? Everything feels very elven and fae and unicorns and very, very Tara too. That's what this is. Lemuria too. Very Tara. Let's see. Utica. Does my baby dragon have any messages for me? How to navigate? Packed bags, but haven't left. Don't want to go to another house. Want to go to the aligned place now. The only thing I can say, Utica, is get yourself grounded and then quiet your mind and then listen to your body and see if you have any messages that come in from your dragon or for your higher self to see. Karen, uh, take a look at the meridians on her arms. You've seen the pressure points, the ting points for the hands and the arms, the forearms. See if you can. It's not a matter of cooking. It's a matter of she might not be physically capable of eating very much right now. If her gallbladder's gone kitty wampus, eating's not going to be a high priority. Trust me. So don't take that as a you can't cook. Speaking as somebody who I can cook if I feel like it. Most of the time I don't feel like it. Elementals are really vibing high. We can feel it. The trees are a blessing, absolutely. Absolutely. Judy actually made a delivery. Oh my word, she's going for her pizza now. Well, enjoy your drive and enjoy your pizza. And thank you for stopping by, Judy. I'm probably going to be hopping off of here pretty soon too, because tomorrow morning I'm going to be back on with Illumination Portal, only we're going to be on her channel. And I'm sure we're going to be talking about Nikola Tesla, which will be crazy fun, right? Karen will have to join us for that one. Yeah, I agree. Illumination Portal. Valerie says, if you can, focus on the other place, Utica. Focus on your happy space and see what messages you get. Sometimes you can do a thing too where you can do like pros and cons, and you can do, is this working for me? Is this working against me? Most places have both, and you'll get a feel for which one will come into more of an alignment with where you think you want to be in that moment. Okay, everybody. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you to everybody that's going to be here and on the replay. And I will see you tomorrow morning on Illumination Portal. Might try simulcasting. I don't know. It's going to depend on if I can focus enough to be able to do a simulcast. If not, I'll be over on Illumination Portal with Valerie. Thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.